Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Moonlight. So Moonlight has a ton of awards buzz heading into its release, and it's really kind of built its way up to being one of my most anticipated films of the fall and winter seasons. So I was really excited that when it went nationwide, it opened here in Denver. Mind you, at one small indie theater in Denver, but nevertheless, I still had the chance to see it. And in the end, I completely see why it's receiving the awards buzz it is, and I completely agree because I loved this movie. First of all, I don't think there was a more intimate film in 2016 that I've experienced yet. This was the most human film of the year thus far. Just captured the human experience so amazingly well and better than anything else I've seen this year. And I think it really has a lot to say. It tries to cover a lot of ground, and I think it's really successful in touching on and dealing with all of the different issues that it sets out to deal with. The biggest issue, obviously, is sexuality and how sexuality is played out in the African American community here in the United States. But more so than the overlying theme of, exploring your sexual identity and how you interact with your identities are shaped by your home experience, by your interaction with your peers, by your race itself. This movie is just built on relationships. First, there is Chiron, our main character's relationship with himself. That's the most important one. That's the one that directly correlates with the overall theme of the film. But also his relationships with all of these different characters that come in and out of his life throughout the story. The most complex of the relationships is definitely the one with his mother. And it has so many different shades, and it is just such a deep, complex, just enthralling story to watch unfold throughout the entire film. And I really hope, I don't know if she will, but I really hope that Naomi Harris receives some recognition for this role. She at least deserves a Best Supporting Actress nomination because she just brought such depth into this character. She's not actually given that much screen time. I'd say probably second most to our main character, but she just brings so much to the screen time she is given, and I was in awe of her performance. So I definitely think she at least needs to be in the discussion and up for a nomination for Best Supporting Actress. She was that good. But also just his relationship with, this kind of pseudo family that comes into his life when he's at a young age. And can I just say, Janelle Monáe is wonderful in this, and she looked gorgeous. I was like, whoa, Janelle Monáe, hey. So that makes me excited to see her in some upcoming projects I know that she's working on when it relates to film. But then also, his relationships with his classmates and his kind of friend, his lone friend in the movie, and how that all plays out as well. And that relationship kind of is the main catalyst moving forward and the main focus, really, when we look at the entire third act of the film. And I will say the chemistry between Kevin and Chiron was amazing. Whether it was in the teenage years or even when they were smaller kids, all the way up until the adulthood interactions, the chemistry was just so wonderful. And I'll just go ahead and say I don't think I've ever seen a same-sex relationship in a film that was depicted better than the one here. It's complex, it has problems, it goes through a lot of different issues that people within the LGBT community are going to be able to relate to. And again, it just felt so authentic. It felt so real. And that's what really the takeaway message at the end was. It's just how real it was. How real everything in this movie is. And I think that's why it's going to speak to people outside of, that target LGBT audience, because it's real. It's real. And it just talks about so many deep issues, being how your upbringing really shapes you, how bullying shapes you, and it's a really strong kind of bullying message here, how hard it is to break cycles or how you can get pushed into a direction maybe you never thought you would be in, as well as self-acceptance and learning to just love who you are as a person. So on top of just like the messages of the film, I think all of the actors were great, even outside of Naomi Harris. I think that the direction was also fantastic. Chiron stayed the same throughout, which I thought was amazing. He did such a good job, as well did the actors, of just making sure that the character was identifiable and didn't lose defining traits, even as we got new actors and there was a physical transformation in the character himself. So that was just a wonderful job from the directing and the actors. So if I'm going to give the film a couple of negatives, there are a couple. The first one is the script. So I think the script does okay at just guiding the direction and the acting to make sure it feels real. And some parts of the script actually are really strong. I think some of the more nuanced parts. But wow, some of that dialogue was cringeworthy. It was kind of like Eubonics 101. And the stuff they said, sometimes it felt authentic of, you know, like this is how they would talk. Other times it felt shoehorned in and it actually made people laugh when they weren't supposed to. It wasn't supposed to be funny, and yet people in the audience were laughing. So that's not a good sign, and that's really poor dialogue. But I wish maybe the film would have kind of tackled some of the sexuality issues a little bit more head on. I think it was just the ever-present theme of the film and the, you know, everybody knowing type thing. It kind of kept you at like arm's length, though, when it came to the, you know, deeper actual issues of sexuality and him struggling with it. But overall, this film is really fantastic. I think it really captured the experiences it set out to capture really, really well. I am excited to see these type of films being made and seeing people of color being represented as something other than heterosexual, because we don't really see that ever, and to see some more positive, realistic looks at the LGBT community. They're not just going to be always the sassy gay best friend or, you know, the bitchy fashionista. No, they're real people, and I love that this movie didn't play into those stereotypes. They just presented this man as he was, and this is his story. So, again, it is the most intimate and human film I have seen so far in 2016. I really loved it. So I definitely say that this is worth your time and your money. It'll make you feel whether you're a part of the community or not. And if you are part of the LGBT community, I think this is definitely a must-see. I think you'll really get a lot from this experience. And I just think it's a 2016 release that pretty much everyone should see. It leaves you feeling. So definitely go pay full price ticket for this one. So that has been my review of Moonlight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Moonlight? Have you seen it? And if you have, what did you think? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!